Well, hey there, stranger.
What's up, bud?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I have not seen you
It's been a week.
in 10 days.
Yeah, it's been at least a week. Probably
It's
maybe the
been-
last podcast.
No, for real. I think that might be the last time you and I sat down and had like an intentional and meaningful conversation because it's been so long. I did the math like quick and dirty on my way home from work today, and I think it was 5 13-hour days I did last week.
So that's a lot. That's
Between
quite a
like
bit.
work and kids and all the things. But I want to open this podcast a little differently, a little first.
You can do whatever you want.
And that is to give a shout out to one of our absolute like top fan and listeners, my friend Mary. You've not had the pleasure of meeting her,
Okay.
but you know who you are, Mary.
What's up, Mary?
And we just want to give you a shout out because we know you're going through it and we're rooting for you and we're praying for you.
All those things.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening or watching.
She watches on YouTube.
That's amazing.
She loves it. And she talks to me about it too, which is fun.
Yeah. You know, there's something about Mary.
There is something about Mary.
You know,
Yeah, there's something about Mary. We love that.
Mel didn't get that reference. That's
No,
fine.
and that's
I didn't.
That's probably
totally
good.
appropriate.
That's totally
It's
appropriate
probably
to not
for
get
the
that
best.
reference. Moving on.
But we were telling her, I said my wife this week, and she didn't know that reference either.
Melody didn't.
And then
She's like, "What's that from?"
I
We're
was
like,
like,
"Don't
"Oh, it's
worry about it."
it's from Borat, but I was like, I really don't remember much about that except it was like inappropriate, and I watched it in high school.
Yeah, same.
Same.
But Melody definitely do
And
not
then
watch that.
I was like, man, I wonder if there's any more like funny quotes from that. And I looked it up. I was like, definitely not the movie I'm remembering watching.
No, that is
No.
not a quality movie. But
No, but it is what it is.
yeah, it is hard to not, when you hear somebody say my wife, it is
Oh.
very difficult not to be like, my wife.
My wife, oh, wah, wah, wee, wah. And it's just, it comes to your head
Hmm.
like that's what she said. It is just like permeated pop culture.
It's burned in.
You just think it and you're just like,
Hmm.
we're like stapler. That's my stapler.
Hmm.
I love that one.
That is good.
What's that from?
Office Space.
Office Space.
That one.
How's that different
also
from The
maybe not
Office?
appropriate.
Also, maybe not. It's a difficult to say because it's been so long since I've seen it.
No, not for a 13-year-old.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You're not wearing your flare.
What does that mean?
It's from Office Space.
Oh, I thought I had a like a podcast piece. Like you always have your little like lip gloss and stuff.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, I have flare today, just for myself. But no, that's a movie quote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was thinking about when we actually did get to hang out last,
Mm,
and we weren't even hanging out. We worked really hard, so we had a nice day outside,
mm.
and we were able to.
They've been few and far between with the rain
yeah,
lately.
we were able to open our pool. I opened our pool,
Mhm.
and successfully, by the way. But we didn't get to
Yeah.
swim in it. The very first day, we were cracking a joke because we opened it up, got everything perfect, and the entire time, just the two girls, our daughters, got to swim, and you and I worked.
Yeah,
and I was
I
like-
was.
Are we the gardeners? Like,
I remember I was out there and they were being cool, but every once in a while, and I read that siblings fight on average every 7 minutes, and that feels really true for that evening because
Oh,
you were
minimum.
inside and I was in the yard working, and they were splashing around in the pool, and I swear to you, every 5 to 7 minutes, one of them was like, "She splashed me, blah blah blah. She doesn't want to play," and I'd have to stop what I was doing and be like, "Guys, chill. You're gonna have fun. Like, let's be friends."
yeah,
And by like the third or fourth time, I just was like in full like mom rage of I'm busting my butt out here, digging holes and tearing
no,
up
I think I
weeds.
walked out as you were saying that.
You
I
walked
was
out
inside
as I'm
cooking
like
for everyone.
raging.
You've got like dirt on your face, and these like little Hollywood celebrities just in their pool
Yeah.
arguing and like, bring me a drink, bring me some food.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did this happen? Like,
I know.
our childhood, we had to do like physical labor. Like we had to go do stuff like
Mhm.
mow the lawn, empty the trash, whatever. Like we were put to work.
My
That's
parents
the way it was.
consistently made the joke / observation that, well, this is why we had kids, so you guys would do the
I've
work.
heard that line many times. I don't know if my parents use that, but they put me to work. So I'm dreaming one of these days, like I'll have
I'll
the
be
freedom
grown-up.
to have a pool and be able to enjoy it. And now that
Yeah.
I'm an adult, it's the kids who just get to
Yeah.
enjoy it, and we are still working.
We did it wrong somehow because
we messed it up. I
I'm
don't
the,
know.
I'm the gardener of the castle.
Yeah.
You're the
I'm the
cook of
chef.
the castle. We have 2 little lady princesses.
And we wait upon the princesses.
And they just are like, "Meow, meow, 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 meow," that day.
Yeah. I'm a sucker, though. I'm okay with it.
And they usually get along just
Yeah,
right. Like,
they're so cute.
I'm not trying to throw them under the bus. They're just regular people
You
like
can
the
throw them
rest of
under the
us.
bus every now and
But
then.
they were
They're getting spoiled.
they were on each other's nerves so
Mhm.
bad, and they finally stepped on my nerves, and I gave them a piece of my mind for messing up the business of enjoying life.
Mhm.
Like, I'm trying to do all of this work, and I want to be in the pool enjoying it, and I
Yeah.
want to. And no, I think we messed it up.
I don't know where we went wrong, but
we went wrong that day.
at least the kids are
We
happy.
went so
Yeah.
wrong that
Still
day.
haven't really been able to enjoy the pool, and that's been almost 2 weeks.
Well,
but
it's just
that's
rained
all right.
so
Yes,
much.
it is bad weather.
It's been bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is.
It is what it is, bud.
But Saturday, specifically,
Uh-huh.
you and I were like right on track with the weather, and we were just funky. The weather was funky. It was kind of like it was like a Monterey day. It was
Mhm.
wet and drizzly in the air, kind of gray, kind of like sleepy and cold. And you and I haven't seen each other all week, barely spoke. And Saturday, we were in a funk, like back and forth with each other.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
And finally, I was just like, Mina looked at us and she was like, "Are you guys okay?"
She
I
had
was
to
like,
check
I
in,
think
apparently.
we're out of practice talking to each other. And finally, like, you and I kind of both split off and did our own thing.
Mhm.
We weren't fighting about anything. Like,
No.
it was nothing. We were just not understanding each other.
It happens
And so
in every relationship.
know.
We just could not talk. Like, what did you mean by that? It's like, I don't know. What are you talking about? What do you mean by this? It was just back and forth of like,
yeah.
just like could not settle, kind of grumpy.
Mm-hmm.
But
the thing
had
is,
a long
like,
week.
after you went off to run errands and I'd pulled some weeds, I called you and I was just like, this is so silly. Like, you haven't done anything wrong. I don't think I've done anything wrong, but we just don't understand each other. And I think that's a really relatable thing. Like, people, friends, but especially married people get into that funk.
We didn't even have a grievance.
No, I had no
we just couldn't
grievance.
talk
I
to
called
each other.
him
Yeah.
and I was just like, I don't know what's happening here, but you seem kind of funky and I feel funky, but like, I'm not mad at you, for the record.
Yeah, and I hate those moments because you called. I was in Dick's Sporting Goods trying to pick out some like workout
Pants.
attire. Yeah, and I'm having this conversation in there, and there's just people all around, and like the pinnacle of the conversation, I'm in line, which is, I don't like when people do this, but I was trapped.
You're
Like,
in line and it's quiet.
And it's quiet and you're on the phone. But I don't like when other people do that too. And there's always those people that do speakerphone.
Oh, or worse yet, FaceTime in line.
Who are these FaceTime public FaceTime people?
Yeah.
How would they think that's okay?
Because like our funky fix it conversation is fine. Like, we weren't really hashing anything out.
No.
But still, like, you don't want to have that in public. And then you don't want to be involved in everybody else's personal business on FaceTime.
Mhm.
But I feel like there's some key demographics for people that do that.
I have heard I've heard the little doo-doo, that little sound it makes
Mm-hmm.
in public stalls.
No.
I promise.
Wait, quiet in the restroom and then they go FaceTime?
FaceTime. There was maybe
Ooh.
2 times that I could confirm I know what I heard of just a guy like, hey, just like, and I heard the FaceTime thing. I'm like, bro. Now, maybe it would make the same sound if it's audio only, because I think you can do an audio only call. But
You
it was definitely
can.
FaceTime. It has a distinct sound.
You can do audio
So,
only FaceTime, but still,
which is
was it on
insane.
speakerphone?
Imagine. Yeah. No, yes.
Ugh.
Yes, I'm in the restroom, not in a stall, but in the restroom, hearing someone in the stall, hearing the FaceTime sound and them on a conversation. And I'm like, who picks up? And if I called someone or they called me and they pick up on the toilet, I'd be
No.
like, bro, can you call me back?
Yeah, that's
Like,
not
this
okay.
is not. And am I on speakerphone? Never put me on speakerphone. Never
No.
call me again.
You
This-
have to do the etiquette
Yeah.
of, especially if you're in the car, you call someone and you're on speakerphone and there's other people in the car. It behooves of the person picking up the phone call to say, "Hi, Joe, thanks for calling. I've got you on speakerphone. Say hi to
Have to announce
who's
that
in
you
the
are on
car."
speakerphone.
It has to happen
Must.
like that.
Yes.
I have been on phone calls that have been kind of like semi-personal, where it's not until like a third of the way through the call that I
Mhm.
finally found out, oh, there's totally another person in this vehicle.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's cool. I do think there is one caveat to the public FaceTime conversation.
Okay.
So, okay, when I see someone in a store and they're on FaceTime just having a conversation, totally gets my goat. If I see someone on FaceTime and the camera is pointed to like the products and they're like, please tell me what you want. Like that
Fair.
is a desperate,
You're right. That is fair.
final straw
That's
act
a desperate
of,
man.
like,
Let's just say
desperation.
it. That's going to
It
be a
is.
guy.
It
That's
totally
a guy
is.
who was like, I
There's-
can't. There's 9 like
There's
chia
13
seeds or
different
whatever weird
seasonings.
things that you are the
Yes.
we've talked about this. You never send me a list that's like bread, milk, and oatmeal. It's always the most challenging things for me to find. That's abnormal. That's in a weird section. And I need the store, the aisle, and a photo, or you're getting FaceTimed.
Well, I just
You
think,
never say, "Give me a dozen eggs." I'm like, I can get you eggs. It's not a problem.
sure I
You're like,
do.
I need this loose leaf tea. It's going to be in this weird section. You do it. And I always do my best, but I always mess. I typically mess up one thing, one item.
That's like Christmas with the Cranks, Tim Allen, and she sends him into the store to
Mhm.
get chocolate nibs or something for Christmas. And he comes out and he's like, they didn't have any. And it's pouring down rain. And she's like, well, why didn't you ask the butcher? And he's like, oh, gee, of course. I didn't think to ask the butcher where the chocolate is. And she's like, well, now you know, go back and get it. I mean, that's the whole premise is like women have this very specific like map and photogenic memory or photo memory of what's in the
Mhm.
store of the specific items.
Yeah. I'll ask people at times that work there, hey,
Do you
gotta help
really?
me out. And I'm always,
I mean, you
I'm
heard it here on the pod. folks.
always nervous when they ask me, because I have 3 ladies in the house. So there's times I have to run some errands for some things for ladies that are asked. And I'm
Feminine
like,
products.
please no one ask me if I need help. Because now it's going to be some lady. I'm like, yeah, well, let me try to explain what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Actually, recently, this one's not a big deal, but I had on my list some new deodorant for Melody. So it's like some ladies deodorant. And I was thinking about this and I just want to talk about it. Why is there a difference between men's and women's deodorant, but not men's and women's toothpaste, floss, mouthwash? Like, do we have the same mouth, but we have different armpits?
Well, I think it comes down to the fragrance. Men's fragrance
Okay.
probably just has more musk or whatever that like.
Musk.
Well, that's like a term I hear.
I don't think that's
In-
what it means.
Yes, it is.
Musk?
Musk.
Isn't musk a bad thing?
I think that.
Like, dude, like homeboy was musky.
Well, I think it is, but I think it's like a
Musty,
technical
I think is the word, but
term.
musk.
Musk.
What does musk mean?
I don't know, but I think I've heard that. That's like in wine when they're like, it's very oaky.
Melody, can you Google what is musk?
Musk in fragrance.
Not
But
Elon.
I think, and at the end of the day, if antiperspirants were unscented, it wouldn't matter. But I think part of it is the pink tax.
I don't know what pink tax is.
The pink tax is that items that are sold specifically for women. Okay, perfect example,
Okay.
razors. Like
yeah. Is
five
it sharp or
blade-
not?
5-blade razors
No,
for
that's
men or
marketing.
women.
Mhm.
It is fully just marketing.
I think
And women's
I think
razors
deodorant
cost
is
more.
as well. We have arms, we have skin, we both sweat, we all get stinky. I think we should just have universal stuff. Like, think about if there's a female Q-tip. Like, we have the same ears.
But they just
We have-
haven't gotten to it
There's
yet.
not
I guarantee,
male and female contact lenses.
I guarantee there are pink Q-tips that
I'm
are
sure.
slightly
I
upcharged
don't want to know.
to appeal to women
Mhm.
for them to have in their bathrooms.
Yeah. Deodorant's pretty amazing.
I think it just comes down to the fragrance
I
more than
guess
anything.
I love a nice thick slather of deodorant. I put it on thick. It's crucial. I've been to other countries to where that is not as normal culturally, and you notice a big difference. But
Mhm.
how fed up do you think the original guy that created deodorant was? Like that was his. Think of all the stinky things, right? It must have been like a friend or a spouse to where he's
Yeah.
like, I will devote my life's work to this stinky guy. It could have been an office mate, but think of the guy who like, he must have been so fed up that he's like, I have to develop a paste that makes these people around me stop smelling? Because it probably wasn't for himself. You just deal with it, right?
That's such a good point.
What drove that guy?
Who invented deodorant?
And why did he stop there? Like, why didn't he make tongue paste for bad breath? Why didn't he make foot paste for stinky feet? Why didn't he make like groin paste for like...
There is all of that now.
Gold Bond.
No, there's a deodorant company called Lumi or something that makes like lotion that's anti stinkiness for feet and for everywhere your underwear touches.
Okay.
Underarms, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's brand new. Think how long like deodorant has been. Mel, what's musk mean?
All right.
Official definition of musk.
The AI overview on Google says
We'll accept
it's a warm, subtle, and often described as animalistic aroma that adds depth, sensuality, and longevity to fragrances. That doesn't make any sense.
It's a real thing.
Earthy.
A cologne company made up
I just
half
read
those
a
words.
fiction book about a perfumist. I know what I'm talking about.
Perfumist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was the third book of a series, and it was called The Perfumist of Paris. It was very good.
I have something fun to do.
Okay.
I think that we are getting a little bit I think we're very limited on our greetings, like when we bump into people. And it's a little bit frustrating.
I agree, because
right?
I hate the, hey, how's it going?
It's always the same. It's hey, how's it going? Great. Never been better. The only thing beyond that is, it's a beautiful day, huh? Looks like rain's coming. It's the weather talk. You can always fall
Have
into
a good one.
Yes. And if you slightly know someone, it is how's work going? How are the kids?
How's your mom and them?
How's your mom and them? Here, I'm okay with that. Those quick little moments. Here's where you run out and you're like, what do I do now? Is a perfect example is, first, since we're already talking about shopping, I hate this. You show up to a grocery store and you bump into someone you know right out of the gate and you have like kind of a talk.
Yes.
Oh, I hate that.
And then you somehow awkwardly keep bumping into each other aisle after aisle. And then it's like, hey.
How do you end the initial conversation? Because you can't do a see you later. You're going to be like, I will awkwardly encounter you again in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like that is kind of what it should be. Because then you're going to be in another aisle and then you're like you're giving them the what's up. You try to think of something clever to say, or dude, you just have to dip. Or what I do is just go to the other side of the store and I'm like, I bet there's something over there that I need, even though it's not on my list. And then I am thinking in my head, I go to the other side of the store and I'm thinking about, I wonder what they're buying today and how long roughly that would take for them to clear the aisles. And I'm doing the computation. And then I'm thinking, now when I return, I have to return to the original meeting spot because they're probably not going to be there. So you go to the original meeting spot. There they are because they forgot like a bag of apples. And then you wasted so much time. And it drives me nuts. But this is the problem.
I'm crying.
But that's not even what I wanted to talk about.
No, but it's true. And like sometimes I'll like hang back and pretend that I'm looking at my list, because we've chatted and we've had a good little catch up of like, oh, what a coincidence. We're both here at the same time. And then we part our ways. And then I'll kind of like, okay, I'll give them a head start, 5 minutes. And then I'll be behind them through the store so that we don't have those like, oh, hey again.
Yeah.
Oh, you got your flower.
Or you just embrace it and you're just like, we're going to do this thing together.
Oh my gosh.
What's next on the list?
If they're cool.
No, you can't do that. You just pace with them.
I'll take odds, you take evens.
Yeah.
Like we'll meet you back at the checkout.
Yeah. They're like, I don't need to go on the side, but I do. Come on.
Side by side.
Peanut butter.
Let's just share a cart at this point.
My wife sent me a list of things that I don't know how to find. Can you help me? Yeah.
Can you help me from FaceTiming
Fate
in
has
public?
brought us to this moment together. Let's do it.
I don't get why that's bad though. Like, why is being friends and close with somebody bad?
Oh, you'll learn.
Oh, girl.
Oh, young one. Oh, grasshopper.
Yeah. So here's
it's not running into them in public that's the problem. Running into a friend in public is a fun surprise.
is.
And you get to catch
a
up and
quick
it's like, oh my
passing.
gosh, hey.
That's right.
And then you get to do the whole like, we should get together soon. And then the other person's like, totally. And then you leave and you don't call each other back. I mean, that's
No.
what you do.
You say a bunch of like very friendly lies of just like, man, looking forward to getting
But
together soon.
Mel, where it gets bad is when you have that whole catch up and then every 3 minutes, every
Mhm.
other aisle, you're walking past each other again. But like you've got your headphones in and maybe they're on the phone and you just give
do
them
you
the silent,
ignore them?
hey.
Do you continue the conversation? Do you say a little clever thing as you're in passing?
No, you have to make a joke.
I would just
Mhm.
ignore them.
You can't.
You can't do
You
that.
can't do
oh, young lady, if it's only so simple. There's only one like honest like solution, and that is you have AirPods and you fake a call.
Or you make a call.
Because I'm not a liar. Well,
you make a call.
telling someone I'm looking forward to seeing you soon might not be 100%
but we
true.
all do that.
But I'm not a liar in the sense of like, I don't want to be a faker. So I will put AirPods in and drive you crazy.
He'll call me.
And you're like, you're at the store, aren't you?
I'll
Because it's
be
my
like-
only way to float through that. Because here's the thing. If you're like, yeah, absolutely. About 4:00 tomorrow. Oh, hey, Bill. Oh my God. We'll get together soon. And then you just got to keep going. And Bill's
It's
cool.
true.
Bill's relieved.
Bill is so
He's
relieved.
like, oh, I got to see Joe. We had a little quick encounter, but man, I'm glad that was short. And if I bump into him on aisle 5,
Yeah.
it's another like little tilt of the, because
Mhm.
Bill's like, hey, you know,
Because Bill's got places to be.
We all
His
got places
wife's
to
waiting
be.
for him to bring back
absolutely.
the wrong items from the grocery
He
store.
will.
And we all just need to move on with our day.
That's right. So, okay.
What was the point
What are
of
we
that?
talking about? I have a point.
I don't know.
Okay. Here's where it's the most challenging. Anyone who's ever been in any form of like office or corporate world, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Is you have a really great moment or encounter when you first see someone in the day, and it's very pleasant. You're like, hey, how's your weekend
Right.
been? Hey, good morning. How's it going? Great. And you have that initial one. Well, throughout the day, you keep having these moments.
Oh,
And
walking past
you
people.
you can only like how's it going so many times. So I think I figured out a solution
Okay.
to come up with new things that's fun if they're cool, and that is the A to Z like greeting point connection. So every time you see them, someone will start first. I don't know what that means. What did that mean?
Trademark. I'm trademarking.
Trademark. Oh,
Trademarking
trademark.
your
Okay.
A to Z greeting point
I would
connection.
say TMI, like too much of like, what did I say?
No.
Okay. So I think you do an A to Z. After you do your initial, hey, what's going on? How's it going?
Yeah.
Then you start an A to Z. So whoever initiates it first, they have to say something really quick in passing that starts with A, and then now it's you on B, and then it's going to be a rotation the entire time through the day. I
Awesome
think it'll make it.
sauce.
I think it would make it fun, and I think it would make it. You'd actually look forward to like. I hope I bump into Bill again because
What's he
I've
going to
been
say for
thinking
Q?
about like a new one. So I think we should try this. I'll start like, Jew again. Funny seeing you here. Well, it's not even funny. No, we got to roll with this.
No,
That's a good
so
one, right?
great. That's your A.
That's my A. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. Funny seeing you here again. So here's the thing. We're
Okay.
in an office. We have like cubicles.
Right.
And in between getting a cup of coffee, in between going to the restroom, we're going to continue to bump into each other. So you and I are office mates, don't know each
Okay.
other that well, which makes it more awkward for us. Because when it's your friends, like you could just say something silly or just give them a fist
Mhm.
bump and say nothing once you cross, or just ignore them because like whatever, they're chill. It's that in between thing. So I'm passing. We've already talked. We're bumping you again. Funny seeing you here again.
Been looking forward to it.
Wow.
He's caught.
It's pretty hard. Okay,
He's caught on C.
I'm not. Yeah,
Just
caught
be
on
rude
C.
and ignore
You can do
them.
it.
I didn't practice this. Can you let me know what your plans are for the weekend? No, that sounds like I'm asking you on a date.
What about catch you later?
No. Oh yeah. Catch you later,
Yeah.
alligator. All right, you're up.
Dude, what are you still doing here?
Entrance is right over there. I walked in just like you did.
Feeling good today?
Goodness. Couldn't be any better.
Hey, bud.
Wait, now we're just having a conversation with each other.
No, these are all
These
greetings.
are these are individual.
This is like I pass you next, you pass me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be honest. The employee whose like work area is closest to the restroom has to say hi to everybody.
They have
Like,
to say hi to
how
everybody.
do they get
So I
work
think
done?
they could
You know
initiate
what I
this.
mean?
And even if they didn't tell the other person, I think in their head they could play this little game
Dude,
with themselves.
I'm going to play this game now because
I
I'll tell
think
you what,
it's
where I
fun.
work.
You could do it just you. Like, I'm not saying it has to.
No,
You have to
you
have
could just do it
an
in your own
agreement.
head
I'm
and
just
like
thinking,
play.
like, I do this all the time, and you kind of say something dumb because you weren't ready.
Right.
You're like, beautiful day, eh? You're like, oh, I already talked about the weather. But I think if you're like A to Z, there's no way you're going to get past that
No.
with one person. So
Mm-mm.
every time you see them, because even if you played by yourself, you're like, okay, E's next. Like, what am I gonna?
Totally. No, I'm
Yeah.
totally going to do this because where I work, we have these super long hallways that are just stretches of hallway with no kind of like side entrances and all the things.
So when do you start talking?
So when do you start talking? Because you get
that's
stuck in the
great.
hallway where someone turns the corner like a mile down the hallway.
You can't start talking
and you
too
see
early.
each other and you can't talk too early where you have to raise your
I
voice,
hate
but you
stuff
have
like
to
this.
talk late enough to where you're just, it's a passing acknowledgement of friendliness. And so you have to like, you have to keep looking to gauge how close you're getting to this person. And then maybe it's just me that I play this game in my head.
No, I think
about like,
yeah.
okay, 5 more steps. Okay, 2 more steps. I'll say hi. If they don't say hi first, and then we can pass, and then we don't have. Do you know what I mean?
And there can't be too much time in between
Exactly.
the high and the step. So
But
it's got
then
to
you
be
can't like.
it's got to be fluid. It's like,
you-
hey, step, it's gone.
Yes. But like, could you imagine how awkward it would be to just like look at the person the whole way down the aisle?
Dude, if they both
just
did
look
it,
at
and they
you,
just
and then
walk,
you're waiting and waiting and walking
Who's
and
gonna go
waiting and
first?
looking and waiting. And then you're like, hi.
Yeah.
How awkward would that be?
Hold on. Honestly, all of this sounds terrible. This may just be coming from me due to me not being like that popular and knowing that many people. But just don't do it. This sounds
You have
terrible.
to do something. This
It's
is
not
life,
just-
girl.
Don't. You have free
It's
will.
just the way world works.
It's
if
the
I just
society.
ignored people,
You can't ignore.
No.
And you also can't be the weirdo that like you see the other person and you just like do a little dance as you walk towards them the whole way. Actually, I would like that. If someone went all in and looked at me and did a little drive like the whole way, I might match them. And yeah, because
you have to do it to the right person.
I do have a little saying that I'm very proud of myself. I'm sure I stole it from someone. But when you run into those people that you're like, you do this, you do like the football drills with them,
Dude, that's
like a
the
stranger,
worst.
and you're like,
Yes.
and like you can't figure it out. My little thing was like, hey, thanks for the dance, and then I keep going.
Oh, I love that.
It's pretty smooth, and
That's
it will
really
usually, yeah.
smooth.
Feel free to steal that, listeners, but it does work because everyone's going to be in that. You turn the corner, you go right. And you just keep bumping into each other, and it's just so painful. You
It
can't
is.
ignore that
No, you
moment. You have
can't.
to. Someone should say something. So I just say, "Hey, I appreciate the dance.
Thanks for the dance.
Thanks for the dance."
Do you know what awkward kind of like acquaintance interaction that I've started to just cut out of my life is with a really with a phone call, perhaps even a professional phone call, is instead of doing the whole okay, thanks, and the other person like we're hanging up with each other, professional phone call, I say, okay, thanks. And how does the goodbye go? The goodbye usually goes, I'll say, okay, thanks. And then you're like, yep, bye-bye. And then I'm like, okay, bye-bye. And we go back and forth, Americans. We volley the goodbye
I don't say bye bye. That's
like
I don't know how
4 to
many
6 times.
men cannot say that unless it's to their mom
Well,
or
I'm just saying
grandmother. But
that's the way
if
it
I'm
goes.
calling one of the boys and I'm like, bye bye, that's not.
That's what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah.
a professional call. When you're trying to
Professional
be
call.
professional, there's a volley 4 to 6 times back and forth of, okay, thanks. Yep, you're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Take care. It goes back and forth.
Yeah, I like a goodbye now. Goodbye now.
Oh, that's aggressive.
I don't say it. I just when people say that to me, goodbye now.
You sound
Yeah,
like a
it does.
robot.
I said it really-
That's very aggressive.
Yeah, that's it. Goodbye now.
Goodbye now. No, there's no way to say that friendly.
Yeah, okay. I'm not ever gonna say that.
No, but what I've started to say in calls that I make is, all right, thank you. And super peppy, I'm ramping it up, the peppiness at the end of the call. Okay, thank you so much. Take care. And then I'm just done. I just hang up the phone. I don't wait for them to be like, yeah, you're welcome. Goodbye. I just hang up because
What if we started doing what
We're
they do
good.
in movies? They don't say goodbye in movies.
yeah, right.
That's a trope. They don't.
It is. It's a trope that
just you just hang up.
hate
If
it.
someone did that to me, I'm like, dude, just hang up on me
yeah.
without saying bye-bye.
How did they all
You didn't
know
say
without
goodbye
saying
then?
bye-bye?
I don't know. You gotta say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Or yeah, Melody, do you say bye-bye or do you just like, okay? I feel like you're just like when the conversation's done,
Well,
I'm
like
like, I
her
love you,
generation.
and you're just like, okay.
okay.
And then that's the end of that. I don't get a bye-bye.
She'll be
I
like,
say-
take look.
Yeah, take luck.
I say bye to my friends, not you guys though.
Oh,
It's
thank
true.
you.
She hangs up on me when she's just like, well, I thought we were done talking. And I was like,
When she was
"Hmm."
younger, she would hang up on her friends on calls. Hey, Melody, it's time for dinner. Okay, click. We're like, no.
Yeah.
Like, you have to tell your friends goodbye. Do you remember
It
doing
was
that? She
so
does.
true.
She would do that. It was very funny. Just like, okay, click.
Or not even give them time to respond. So, then she grew into the, okay, guys, I got to go now. Click.
Yes.
No confirmation whether or not they heard you
Or they
at all.
Yeah, even there, they stepped away to the restroom. Just
Yeah.
click.
They're all like
Mhm.
BRB, and she's like, gotta
Yeah.
go.
Well, Mel, we're starting to pick on you a little bit, and we don't want to do that. So I
No,
do
it's
want
fine. It's
to
fine. It's funny.
allow you to chime in however you want on the podcast because we haven't done this in a minute.
Yeah.
I think it's time for Mel's mystery topic.
Mel's
So,
mystery topic.
Melody, have you been thinking at all about something that you could introduce to us that we could discuss?
Yes.
Whatever you want, please make it appropriate.
Okay, so I see how this could turn on me for y'all bullying me even more, but are school sports even important? Like, what's the point of them? And how is it like to the parents of
You
just
mean-
having kids in 50 different sports?
Oh, okay. So
So
And
what
do
is
they even matter? Like, does that?
do they?
Why do they even have to do that in the first place?
do s-
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is, do sports matter for kids?
Yeah.
And then what is the parent experience on the other side of that?
Yeah, because I know it's very busy and hard for the parent to keep up with all of it. It's just like,
That's a good question.
does that even matter? Like, what's the point of them doing that in the first place? It's just, they're not going to keep on playing that sport. It's a school sport.
Well, to that, I would say there is a very, very select few kids who are incredible athletes through school, and then they get scholarships to go to college.
Mhm.
And that's probably
Like 90% of those
I would
parents are
guess
fingers crossed,
like
hoping their kid is that
5 to
1%er.
10% of student athletes probably get paid to go or like get a scholarship to go to college.
Mhm.
The other 90% just get injuries that will last the lifetime of those kids. Like
Yeah.
broken, like everything, like you name it.
Oh yeah.
Just injuries,
ACL
TBIs,
tears,
ACL tears. That's
Totally
a little
TBIs
bit
in
more
football.
common, I think, than
rotator
actually.
cuff tears,
Yeah.
broken legs.
But would you ever have those like elite NFL players if they didn't have a chance to play in school?
You
Probably
have
not.
gym class, and
I
you play
mean,
every sport
I don't
in gym
think you're going to
class.
be like
I think that sports are good for kids to learn teamwork,
yep.
discipline,
Mm-hmm.
physical activity, rules of engagement. I think
Yeah.
it teaches you a lot of
Getting
interpersonal skills.
Yelled at by a coach and knowing how to deal with that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, I didn't do sports, but I did do competitive color guard. And let me just tell you, that is
Okay.
a tough activity.
Tell us how hard color guard is.
Color guard is so hard.
What is color guard for those uninitiated?
So
to the
color
world
guard
of
has-
color guard?
Color guard is very famously known as the people who wave the flags when you do parades in band camp and like marching band.
That's famous.
I think so.
Mhm.
And then in the winter, when you can't do band and parades, the color guards do competitive color guard in gymnasiums where they put together big fancy routines. They wear fancy outfits. They do the whole thing, and then they
Yeah.
compete with each other. And drum lines usually are in those competitions as well.
What do you do?
So I did both.
So it's competitive flag waving?
It is. It's competitive flag waving,
Is
throwing.
it just on a stick?
Yeah, and competitive saber throwing and rifle throwing.
Okay.
So sabers and rifles can also be part of drum lines,
Aren't
but
sabers
flags are
swords?
not. Yeah, but flags are not
Like, is
usually
it like
part
a
of drum
wooden
lines.
sword? Is
No,
that
it's
plastic?
a metal sword. It's just not sharp.
Yeah. I don't watch a lot of
But like
color guard competitions.
my coach, Mrs. Swanson,
Mm-hmm.
she was so hardcore. She was like loud, intense, Texan, and she just yelled and she would clap and she'd go, faster, keep it up. And she would just yell and she would just, it's like the clap and the thing, and she'd keep the pace. And we'd have to stand there with our shoulders in this like box position, and we'd have to twist the flag and spin it in a circle over and over and over and over. And we would have to do 500 at a time.
Wow.
And your shoulders, oh my gosh, they are burning. But I did that and it taught me a lot, because I'd go to my mom and be like, I don't want to go back. She's so mean. But at the end of the day, like, I am really grateful as a person, the discipline it taught me to be part of that.
Yeah. And there's some people who enjoy playing sports and enjoy watching sports.
Right.
I'm someone who does not watch sports, but I'm
You're kind of athletic.
fairly athletic
Yeah.
and enjoy playing. Like, I'm always game, like whatever it is, of like, even if it's tennis, pickleball, like I'll shoot basketball, but I did play sports. And if she's wondering what's the point, for me, I don't think there was a point, because I was never good enough to go do anything with it for like a living.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really good to learn about teamwork. It's
Yeah.
really good to push yourself, like to
It
be
is.
embarrassed and out of breath. And also, there's nothing more satisfying than hitting a creek ball
What's a creek ball?
at the elementary school I went to.
What is that?
If you hit a home run, on the other side of the fence was little woods, and there was a creek out there.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember that.
So when I would smash a
A
home run
creek
and hit a
ball.
creek ball,
Nice.
this is what it was called. The ball's lost. It's in the
Yeah.
creek. There's no better feeling than that.
We used
So
to throw balls into the creek. For those who don't know, we went to the same elementary school.
we actually went to the same elementary
Yeah.
school. Yeah. So a creek ball, I think those memories stick in your head, but
That'd be
also they're
fun.
really embarrassing. Like the first wrestling match which you're already humiliated. You walk out. Have you
Okay.
seen a singlet?
Why do wrestlers wear those
Dude,
outfits?
you look
No.
so
Mm-mm.
dumb. You've got like high top
Mm-mm.
wrestling shoes, a skin tight singlet.
And you've got like a double cup just suctioned to
You've got
your
3
head.
cups.
I know, but
Two
it's
on
like
your ears and one down
double
below
up
for
on your
wrestling.
face.
Yeah.
It's so, honestly, I would never want to be part of that sport for any reason, for the outfits alone.
No, I'm
It's the
struggling
worst.
with and
Like they might as well just be naked
but
like the Greeks were.
the practices are so sweaty and so brutal and so much ringworm. You're just rolling with people
I'm like gagging at
in a hot, steamy
Ugh.
gym. It smells so bad, and
The gym floor needs its own
It's-
deodorant.
it's kind of fun a little bit, but if you're a germaphobe like me, it's so, that's why like all the rage right now is like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I think it's
No.
wonderful. I'd love it. I've done other martial arts. I really love them. More striking stuff. Loved it. Got injured a little bit, stopped. But
I saw a video.
to roll,
I saw a video of them.
Of who?
I saw a video of Brazilian jiu-jitsu people.
Well, don't point at me. I'm not one of those guys.
They were wrestling and being active so hardcore that the entire floor of where they were doing that was wet. And I
Yeah.
thought, oh, they must be outside. It was
No.
their sweat.
Yes.
It was their sweat.
That's what it's like. You're just rolling in another
Mm.
man's sweat. And they would say, like, man, this is to be an elite athlete, to be able to defend myself if anything ever happens. And I'm just like, bro, I'll take that chance. Like, if I die, I die.
Yeah.
But like, if it's either
Life is too short.
I die, or 5 days a week, I'm gonna roll in a pool of Tony's sweat. Like, dude, I can't do it anymore.
Mm-mm.
I just can't do
There's
it.
not enough antiperspirant in the
So
world.
to finish answering her question, is there a point? I would say, yeah, there's a point.
There is a point.
I think it's
But I think
there
it's
is a
largely
risk.
arbitrary. I think
Yeah.
people put too much
pressure.
pressure on
And
kids.
What it's like for the parents, I can't speak because my God has not gifted my daughters to be super athletic. Thank you. Because what that means is travel sports, and that is where,
Yeah.
from the parents I've heard, it's not the local games, Melody. It's the travel sports, to where you were driving an hour
Flying
plus,
sometimes.
or flying, or going to a different state
Mm-hmm.
to watch your kid who is mediocre at a sport give it their all. And it's very expensive
Well, and
too.
you're just paying thousands of dollars
Mhm.
to be part of it, and then paying all of that to travel and all the things.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll tear their rotator cuff and never be able to do it again.
And you
I
got to
mean,
deal with that forever.
that's a thing.
Mhm.
And then you're putting this little fella's body into
Yeah.
all this stress and pressure, when really sports should be about teamwork and determination and
Mhm.
like I think more wholesome things than
Yeah.
like, I'm going to push my 5th grader into this because they've been doing it since kindergarten and they're going to be the best of the best. I mean, there are naturally driven individuals who it's like, that is their passion.
Mhm.
Just like there are driven little nerds out there with their homemade science kits making stuff in their garages. Like
Yeah.
there are individuals who really truly feel passionate about their activities. And to them, I say, I love that for you. But I think
To each their own.
90% of these kids are going to be, not
Probably
LeBron.
doing that.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
not everybody's LeBron.
Not everybody are the
everybody's
Kelsey
LeBron.
brothers.
Mhm.
Like these are just regular people that are going to grow up to be accountants and dentists and like play
Yes.
pickleball in the weekend with their
So,
other parent friends.
If I had advice to a young person, it would be focus on 2 things. Learning hireable skills.
Yes.
Hireable skills can look like a lot of different things. And maybe that's being an NFL quarterback, okay? If you are that
Yeah.
good and that's a hireable skill, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I would focus on a hireable skill and I'd focus on a hobby. And you want to give about 50-50 to those
I
2
would
things.
totally agree.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I want to spend time and invest. And with a hobby, it could be sports. You're just like, I just love sports. Like,
Mhm.
I know I'm not going to be in the NBA because if a kid's like
I'm not gonna
5
be
foot
Tiger Woods.
4 or whatever, but he's like, I just love basketball. Like,
Heck yeah.
I'm not going to be in the NBA. I would say, man, go pursue that because that's the hobby side of it. But also realize with the other 50% of your energy, you are 5'4". You probably know you're not going to play in the NBA.
So get into model trains.
Also get into like creating model trains or something that I don't know if model trains is a hireable skill, but you know what
No,
I'm
you
saying.
said a hobby.
But I think that would be the hobby, is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I
It
think
could be
for
the
a lot of
hobby.
young people, 50% of their time should be divided between a hobby and a hireable skill.
Oh, the
So
hobby is the
if a
sport.
kid
I was not
is
tracking
in a
you.
sport and they are
Yes.
not going to be able to do that for a living, they know it, their parents know it, but
Mhm.
it brings them joy and there's other things they get and it's more of like a hobby and a passion, I would say go for it. But at the same time,
Mhm.
you're not like Tiger that from a young age is just
Right.
spending hours and hours out there learning a hireable skill.
Mhm.
He, yeah.
Do you know what
so
is
I
so
think,
sad though about like AI coming into play with the way we do things? Like Mark Zuckerberg recently talked about the fact that AI can eventually take the place of companionship for people. I mean, that's
Yeah.
essentially what he was talking about. And I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, I think I found my hill I'll die on as like a new version of Amish. Like, there's Amish and Mennonite, and like there's various groups of them who say like no electricity. And some are like, yeah, we'll do a car. And then some will be like, yeah, we'll do a regular telephone, but not cell phone. Like, I think that my like hill I'll die on, and I'll be this new version of Amish and Mennonite and whatever, is like, I will want my children to work out interpersonal relationships and learn communication skills for themselves and have real life friends rather
Yeah.
than like, hey, ChatGPT, how do I have this difficult conversation with somebody?
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like, how
I
do-
watched that thing that Zuckerberg was talking
Yes.
about. Is he was
You
like,
saw
and I kind of see what he's saying. Is to get reps in. Like you have to go talk to your boss about something difficult, or maybe ask for a raise. He's saying,
Mhm.
hey, like ChatGPT or whatever,
Right.
like, can you help me? And you begin to get those reps in.
But I think that
kind of see
where-
what he's saying.
I think where I'm coming from is you get those reps in with the people in your life that
Agreed.
would be a mentor or a support.
I agree.
Even if they've never been there,
But
which
we're old.
obviously like hang out with people who
Yeah.
are where you want to be.
We don't know what Gen Alpha's how they're gonna view this.
But I think like that's going to be my thing with the kids is like, you guys need to practice these interpersonal communication skills for yourself, because I think that will be one of the hireable skills in the future. Like people aren't going to know how to talk to each other.
mm-hmm.
And so those of us that do, I mean, I think the spoken word, it's like it's almost on the edge of decline because of the way we use computers and AI and
Well,
communication.
it gets weird when they take the place of like friendships and relationships. That's where, because
Mhm.
I use AI all the time for work to just to
I use it too.
yeah, to like spell check or to just toss out some ideas to put,
Yes.
like, I use it as just like just a tool.
Like a notepad almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's helpful, but I think it's the relational side. But if I'm elderly and you go first though, I don't want to make any new friends. And I'm definitely not remarrying because marriage is a lot of work and at the finish line.
Yeah.
So I will have just an AI companion. It'll be super advanced when I'm like 90.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to make it just everything I say. You're so right. You're so wise. I can't believe of all of your wisdom you've had for 90 years. And that's all I'm going to hear until I
Okay,
go.
first of all, there's no way you're going to outlive me because as we've
There's
already
no
learned on the
way
pod,
I'll
you
out-
don't go to the doctor.
No.
Well, you're my
But my AI bot would be like, I'm so proud of you for not going to the doctor for all of these years. Look at you.
I thought you were going to say that you would program your AI bot to study me, then
That's
you could
creepy.
supplement me
No.
and
That's what I
pretend to
thought
have
he was gonna
conversations.
say.
And then all I
That
hear
is
is,
so weird.
I'm going to create a little bot to worship me.
No, I'm going to tell the bot all the arguments and grievances we had, and then it's just going to know to tell
And
me
it's just
that
going
I'm
to be
right.
like, you were so right.
You were so right. She sounds like a lovely person, but I
But
can't
it's a
believe
pretty good thing she
I
died.
can't believe she told you were wrong for 60 years. Like, I know. So that's
No.
my plans of how to use AI.
There's literally
but-
no way, like if something tragic happened to you and you died and it's me and the girls left, like you're my soulmate. Like there's no replacing you. There's nobody I could like there's no way I could find somebody and be like, yeah, I can try that again. There's no way. I just can't even I can't even envision it. And I
Well-
know that happens for people.
Of course.
They get to a place and they meet someone special. Like
I would
in
say
my
you,
life, I just
would say
cannot-
you don't
I
know.
cannot.
You don't know what the other side of that looks like.
you
is what I would say.
don't. You don't. But from where I'm sitting, I can't even imagine it.
I fully agree where we're at now. I've walked alongside a lot of people who have been on the other side of that.
Yes, and
Who
it's
have
not
said that, and 5 years passed, and
Right.
they're like, I kind of want like to talk to somebody.
But
And
it's
I'm
not
like,
a judgment
absolutely.
on them. I
Yeah.
hope it doesn't come across that way.
No, you're
because
just
it's not what I'm
speaking-
saying.
You're
I'm just
speaking
saying
for
like
your devotion and love for me
yes,
because of how cool I am
because you're so right all the time.
and so right most
What would I
all the
do
time.
without you?
You're saying nothing. You couldn't function without me, and that's what we got out of this podcast. But man, there's so much stuff I didn't get to, but
I
we're out of
know.
time. We'll get to it next time because we do this. So yeah,
Every week.
that's right. Back to our rooms, back to our opposite corners of the house.
Yeah, don't
and
talk to me until next
no
week, okay?
communication, and
And I'll see you next Wednesday.
so yeah, I'll see you later.
It's been nice knowing
It's
you.
been nice knowing you.
Bye.
Bye.